Hello and welcome to the Economy This Week series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's session is about important economic events which had happened in the last week. And as you already know that this is the third episode of Economy This Week and I hope that you are enjoying this series. So moving towards the points of discussion part. First of all, we are going to discuss the topic which is bump in employment, and this topic which we are going to discuss in Indian perspective, from Indian perspective, and also the second topic is Russia, high income country. So in this session, we are going to discuss that how Russia got this high income country status despite war-ridden countries and involved in so much of war with Ukraine. Then we are going to discuss a scheme which is known as Digital Bharat Nidhi, in short DBN, and then we are going to discuss India-UK Free Trade Agreement, in short FTA. As you already know that recently UK had witnessed its election and Labour Party won the UK election. So that's why we are going to discuss that what would be the economic impact on India-UK relationship. So moving towards the first topic, which is the bump in employment. So this topic has taken from the Indian Express and this was the news. Why does the latest RBI jobs data show a bump in employment? And here we will know that what data it shows. So the employment growth in the country jumped by nearly 6%. And earlier what it was, so it was in the financial year 23 just 3.2%. So it had almost doubled. So how this had happened we are going to discuss. And then in FY 2024 the workforce in the country increased by around 4.67 crore. So it has increased from 59.67 crore to 64.33 crore. So this is also one of the thing. And RBI data comes after a report which has been published by Citigroup, and Citigroup has become skeptical about India's employment growth rate, and which had been refuted by the Labour Ministry of this country. So here we will come to the what happened about the RBI data. So what RBI data tells. So RBI has analyzed this thing on industry level, and here it analyzes on claims, and what claims suggests that. So claim K stands for capital, L stand for labor, E stand for energy, M stand for material, and S stand for the services. So RBI had measured data on the basis of these things, and that shows that there is a growth in the employment, and the employment rate has increased from 3.2% to 6% from financial year 2023 to 2024. And there was a surge in what you can say number of employed. So 4.67 more people have got this job, and the country added 7.8 crore what you can say the employment growth rate, which was financially 5.1%, and financially in 2023 it stood at 3.3%. So you can see that how much progress it has done. However, there was also a different aspects by the Citigroup. So in a recent report, Citigroup had said that even 7% GDP growth might not able to generate jobs and employment in an economy. And what they say is that if they are able to generate, there is a problem with the quality of employment, because if you are getting job but whatever the achievement, whatever the qualification, whatever the skills you have, if you are not getting according to their skills job, then it is an under quality job. And you cannot say that by generating under quality of job that our employment rate has increased. And it says that it had also highlighted the contribution of agriculture, that so many people are employed in agriculture sector, and around 46% of all employment are a part of agriculture sector, but they contribute less than 20% to the GDP. Similarly, it had also said that when we talk about the manufacturing sector and services sector, their growth is fine, better than agriculture. So they says that share of the formal sector in non-agri jobs is still only around 25%. So agriculture, which has most number of the people, and formal jobs which is non-agri in nature, they are just 25% only, and only 21% of the labor force has a salaried job, lower than 24% pre-COVID. So in pre-COVID era, it was 24% people who had this salaried job, but right now only 21% of the people who had salaried job. So we had not done much improvement, which has been refuted by the Ministry of Labor of this country, and they had a different argument to tell. And what's their response? So citing data from RBI claims, which indicates that more than 8 crore employment opportunity created in 2017-18 to 2021-2022. And what's the average? So around 2 crore employment had been generated per year. So it was the average. And it also says that more than 6.2 crore net subscribers joined EPFO between September 2017 to March 2024. So in these 7-8 years, the net subscriber of EPU had also increased, and they had said that this city group had a different definition of employment, economy, and they had a different standard to judge things. So we should not just rely on their data, and we should not be hopeful and faithful about that what they are telling about our economy. So this was the response by the Labor Ministry. Now we come to the next one, which is Russia's high income rating from World Bank. So we have taken this news also from the Indian Express. Behind Russia's high income rating from World Bank, why Western sanctions haven't worked. So this is a matter of thing that since almost 2 years, Russia, Ukraine are involved in war. In this situation, it is generally assumed that both countries' economies had dipped. However, World Bank data shows a different aspect and different story to tell. So here will come that what improvement and what different kind of data it had produced. So earlier this month, the World Bank had upgraded Russia's from an upper middle income country to high income country. So this kind of status Russia had in 2014, and people were assuming that this time Russia cannot improve its grade because of the war and conflict kind of the situation. But result was different. The Russia has upgraded its status, and it has become the high income countries from upper middle income countries. And the ranking was boosted by the growth in trade plus 6.8%, financial sector plus 8.7%, construction plus 6.6%, and also with increase in both real and nominal GDP. So real is 3.6% and nominal is 10.9%. And there are also high chances that because of the military related activity, there was a large increase in investment and spending, and that had also influenced the shape of the economy. And Russia and the ranking. So here we'll discuss that how World Bank ranked countries, and in the comment section you have to tell me that what is the ranking of India. So the World Bank classifies economies into 4 groups. And what are the 4 groups? Based on their gross national income, in short GNI. So they estimate in the US dollars. So you should not confuse here with. So they have this low, lower middle, upper middle and high. And in which Russia has got this high income status, which is a surprising. And the bank's 2024-25 classification for high income countries raised the threshold. So the threshold for high income countries has increased. So it has become $14,500 or more. So this was also the thing. Last year, the Russia had earned 14,250 per person on gross national income, and Russia rank is 72 globally in per capita and 53rd in the purchasing power. So this is the overview of the Russia by the World Bank. Now here is an interesting fact about the Russia and Ukraine, that Ukraine economy had also rose, and Ukraine economy had also saw a progressive and positive trend. So Ukraine improved its status also from lower middle income to the upper middle income country. So it has also improved its status. And how it resulted? So it resulted the reassumption of economic growth in 2023, and GDP grew by 5.3%. And following, because in 2022 the war had just started, so that time the GDP shrink, and that was the 28.8%. But after that, Ukraine had also recovered because of the spending in military related activities, and also it had attracted many investors in their countries. And what you have seen that more than 50% since invasion from Russia began, the bank said. So the population had declined by 15%. So this was the, what you can say, not a shocking fact about Russia-Ukraine war, that economy had risen, but population had initially decreased because of so many people are killed in the war kind of the situation. And these factors were further amplified by the price increase of domestically produced goods. So you should know that how the Ukraine had also improved its economy. So because there is an increase in price of domestically produced goods and services to result in a large increase and nominal at least of 18.5%. So because of these factors, the Ukraine economy had also rose. Now we come to that why Russia economy had seen a positive trend. So first factor is the oil. So the sanction on Russia's energy sector are not as tight what it has posed. And just like Venezuela and Iran had a more tighter sanctions, but Russia had not that much tighter sanctions, and West had imposed sanction according to their, what you can say, suitability and according to their comfort. And they had made this kind of environment that Russia continued to produce their own fossil fuels. So this is also one of the thing. And there would not be a significant surge in oil prices. Now we'll come to the investment part. So corporate investment has recovered since 2022. Initially it was dipped because of the war kind of situation, but it has recovered since 2022 and estimated 4.5 percentage points to the growth in GDP of 2023. And Russia defense and manufacturing sector had also seen the investment, a large number of investment into the defense and manufacturing sector. And IMF had also highlighted that some imports are being substituted by the domestic goods, resulting in investment in new production facilities. Because of the war kind of situation, they could not import so much of materials, so they had created their own domestic environment, which had also created a base for investment into the new products. Now we'll come to the consumption part. So private consumption has recovered strongly after 2022, and it has recovered by 2.9 percentage points of the GDP growth rate, and this is being driven by the buoyant credit and strong labor market. And despite of the war kind of situation, Russia's unemployment rate is very much low, and it is just 3%, because so many people are voluntarily decided that they will contribute to the military, and also monetary incentives has allowed them to be a part of the military services. So these are the reasons. Now we come to the another one, which is about the Digital Bharat Nidhi. So what is Digital Bharat Nidhi? Government fresh attempt at improving rural telecom connectivity. So Digital Bharat Nidhi, so it is related to the telecom sector of this country. So here what had happened, that this Digital Bharat Nidhi will replace a fund, and that fund name is Universal Service Obligation Fund. And what is this fund about? So it is a pool of funds generated by a 5% of universal service levy charged to all the telecom sector of this country, and this money would be used to fund the development of telecom sector in rural and remote areas. And how this will work? So first, this all money will transfer to the Consolidated Fund of India, and all revenues that government receive, including loans raised and all money received in repayment of loans, will be a part of Consolidated Fund of India. And the government will take money from the Consolidated Fund of India, and they will utilize onto the development of the rural and remote areas. And why we need Digital Bharat Nidhi? Because earlier USFO has so much of problem, the funds were underutilized. So in order to have a proper utilization of resources and development of the telecom sector in rural areas, this step has been taken by the government of this country. Now we have this another one, which is about India-UK Free Trade Agreement. So in the introduction session, I had already told about the UK election, that we had witnessed the result of UK election, in which Labour Party of UK had received a majority. So that has created a lot of debate and discussion among the mainstream media of India also, that how this labor ministry and labor government will be helpful for India free trade agreement. So first of all, we'll know that what is this free trade agreement about. So both countries, which is India and UK, agreed to an early harvest scheme or a limited trade agreement to lower the traffic. So this is the key point of this free trade agreement, to lower the tariff and sometimes no tariff also on the selected services. And they had also decided that they will avoid the sensitive areas and sensitive issues. And for India's context, in India's context, we have this agriculture and dairy sectors, which are considered as sensitive sectors in India trade talks. So they had also decided a target that they will double the trade by 2030. So they had decided the time that by 2030 they will double the trade. So here are the few factors which can be favorable for India and UK both, because this time they had this political certainty a plus, because this time there is no coalition government and they had received a huge majority by the UK people. So if there will be a certainty government, then it would be easy for another country to negotiate on terms, whether it's economic, polity or anything. Then not an anti-India Labour Party. So it has been assumed and presumed earlier also that maybe Labour Party would not be much supportive to India, because India has this time center-right kind of polity and political environment. So in this situation, because of the ideological differences also and so many things, might be there are chances that Labour Party would not be much comfortable with the Indian polity. But this time what this Keir Starmer of UK had ensured that this is not anti-India Labour Party. And he had also promised to the Indian diaspora that he will take care of every needs and demands of the diaspora, and also they will work on the free trade agreement of India and UK. And but there are few other grey areas to it. And what are the grey areas? Tougher negotiation on climate, because they had set their net zero emission by 2030 and India has this 2070. So there can be so many differences related to the carbon tax, carbon credit, and also the net zero emissions thing. So there are chances that maybe there can be an issue related to the climate negotiation. Now we come to the question part. As you already know the format of this session, that first we discuss the topic and then we decide that what are the MCQ and prospect MCQ related to a topic. So according to Citigroup India report, what growth rate is considered insufficient for creating enough employment opportunities? 5%, 6%, 7%, 8%. So you have to answer this into the comment section. Now we come to the another one. Another one is about what is the threshold for a high income country according to the World Bank 2024-2025 classification. So I had already discussed that there are 4 criterias of World Bank in which it categorizes the country based on their economic performance. So here you have options: $12,000 or more, $13,000 or more, $14,005 or more, or $15,000 or more. So you have to also answer this into the comment section. Then we have another question. Another question is related to Digital Bharat Nidhi. So what is the purpose or aim of the Digital Bharat Nidhi? To increase telecom connectivity in urban areas to replace the Digital India initiative, to increase telecom connectivity in rural areas to reduce telecom tariff. So this is, I think, very easy one. You can answer into the comment section. Then we come to the last one. What target has been set for the trade between India and United Kingdom by 2030? Tripling the trade, doubling the trade, halving the trade deficit, maintaining the current trade level. So you have to also answer this into the comment section. So that's it for today's session. I hope you like this session. If you have any queries related to the session, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.